Check, check. Okay, we're in. So, guys, uh, I'm so happy we are back. I wanted to continue the development of our work together. Thank you so much for coming, and those of you online, thank you for joining us. Hmm. Today we continue that story that we started in December about this technical year program, but we will see it. I mean, we will do one step that is really important, that it will help us a lot. But before, I mean, of course, I wish you a great year. It's gonna be cool. Nothing can be worse than 2022. So no, I mean, at this point, I don't. After it was like COVID and then this like war, and it was like, okay, so the next one is like a comet or something. So whatever. What can we do about it? Nothing. So I wish you all a great year. It's gonna be really cool. We're gonna work a lot. We're gonna do a lot of stuff. As usual, just keep coming to me if you have any feelings, issues, troubles, and I'll help you. If I'm slow at responding to you, just bother me, and I'll react to you really quickly. I did this yesterday, Grisha. I know you're there, Grisha, and you were there in a lecture with me yesterday. It just like it happens that I wanted to start all my lectures this year with kind of like my goals for this year, and then to hear your goals for this year, just to see what are you planning to do, and I also wanted to compare. I mean, I mean, you know the word flexing, right? Like, do you all know the word flexing? Do you know what it means? Yeah, you know what it means. Okay, so I'm flexing a little bit my work because I want you to if you ever feel like I'm too tired, I have too many things to do, I will be like, dude, sorry my French, but fuck you, really, like you can do it, come on. Like if I can do all of this with 2 kids, you can do everything. That's kind of I really mean it in that way. I'm sorry to be a little bit like flexing my stuff, but this is what I'm gonna do this year, and it's real. Like so I want to complete the writing of the soundtrack of Freefall, so that's 75 minutes of original music. I mentioned this to you a lot, so I'm around the minute 37, 40, kind of. Like I already did 40 minutes, sort of. I want to complete the mixing of that, so I need to mix that whole album, right? I want to conceive the live performance of the album. Like my band, the electronic music band, is called Third Rome, and so the album is going to be called Freefall, which is the name of the movie. And so I'm going to conceive how I'm going to perform this live. I want to write a new Labs Around the Sun record before the end of the year. So that would be like kind of writing 2 albums. And I want to produce, record, and mix 5 EPs from other clients. I mean, I'm already on the way. I have 2 in my bag right now. So I want to produce, record, and mix 1 LP from another clients. I'm doing 1 already. So, I mean, the rest is just extra. Maybe I should have put 2 LPs, but I don't know. Last year I did 1 only, so I don't know. I want to mix at least 20 songs. I want to master at least 30 songs. And I want to get a commission for a second soundtrack. So, I mean, to start working on a second soundtrack for another movie. So that's kind of 3 albums, 5 EPs, right? Mixing 1 LP, mixing 20 songs, and mastering 30 songs. So that's kind of what I'm aspiring to do this year. And again, like I just wanted you to have an idea as well of the level of work that you need to keep running constantly to keep a family going. It's kind of like, I mean, I guess that the true number, it's kind of like I need to add 1 more EP. It's like 1 EP every 2 months, 1 LP every 6 months, kind of. And I would say sort of like, I mean, should be more. It really should be more. Should be kind of like 40 and 50, something like that. Yeah. I mean, it's just the only way you can keep a family of 2 kids and wife, like everybody running. So, yeah. So it's something like that. And you will be there. There is nothing special about this. Like you see the movies, and you see that people, like when they have to defend their family, like they become this massive like heroes and grab guns and kill like an army of people because they're defending their family. Like there's nothing special about this. All of you will be the same as soon as your kids are born. Like you'll be like, oh, okay, now I can lift 10 tons of weight. Like it's just normal. Right now you also have the responsibility of partying a lot. Which is a really important responsibility, and you must execute this responsibility. So whatever, what are your plans? How are you doing? Do you want to release something this year? Do you want to share something with me? What do you want to do? Do you have any plans? I just want to watch Netflix and binge watch Netflix. No, I'm kidding. It's really great. I mean, I don't like to stand here like grown up telling to kids like you guys are not serious. No, no. What you have to do in this moment of your life is to party, to make music, to have fun, to experiment, to meet girls, meet guys, like trip, like everything. Like that's what you have to do. So I'm not judging it. I'm just putting a parallel. So what's up? What do you have in mind? Great. So where are you in this stage, like in this production? So awesome. So you have 5 songs written. You have to write 2 songs. You want the album to be 7 songs? Okay, great. Why did you choose that number? That's a good number. I like it. I mean, I would also aim for 7, but yeah, is there a reason? Is it like length or more like Не знаю, что значит истощена. Как? Exhausted, of course, of course. Yeah, it's tiring. Great. Great. That's great. That's a good number. Yeah. And also taking a break is great sometimes. Like, I mean, just for some weeks and then come back. It's just like you come back like, yeah, some more strong. That's cool. So what is the hardest part for you to do this? Like the consistency or the lyrics or whatever or the melodies or the lyrics? Yeah. Yes. just use Chat GPT. You know. You know what is this? No? Oh, we'll talk about it later. Yeah. You don't know what ChatGPT is? None of you? Huh? It's like the artificial intelligence system developed. You really have never heard of ChatGPT until this moment? That's cool. I'll talk to you about later. I'll talk to you about later. And I'm kidding. I'm not. You can use ChatGPT, but I'll explain you later. But yeah, I'll explain you later. I just don't. It will be a long story if I start. Mm-hmm. Okay. What are any words? Uh-huh. You can't sing. Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. This happens a lot. Yeah. All right. Well, we will talk a lot about this next year. Next year, when we do this course together, development of no, it's called like music production of a single. Like we will talk so much about this. It will be late because your album will be already released, but there will be a time to talk a lot about lyrics. I mean, yeah, it would be cool. Great. So, Sebastian, you have any plans? Like anything that you wanna achieve? I mean, just doing the university stuff. It should be your plan. I mean, that's all. Huh? Just survive. Great, great. Survive, play some music, like record some stuff in DTH, right? Like that's a big goal. Like that, yeah, it's gonna be great. And what about yourself? Your album is already out? Okay, okay. But it's already finished. Like it's mixed. This thing that I heard, right? Uh huh. Ah, only one song is mixed. I see. So Artemis mixing it from the USA or not? Or you get it? Uh huh. Ah, okay. Just send them to me and I'll master them like in a minute. Like I will miss mastering for you in 5 minutes. Like just for real, of course, of course. Let's put a limiter. No, no. I mean really, send them to me and I'll master them. I want to be part of that album. I find it amazing. Uh huh. Great. Yeah. Cool. Mm-hmm. Cool. Making music together. No. Awesome. Awesome. Great. Great. Good plans. What about yourself, Alice? What do you have in your pipeline? Yeah, just beginning of the year. Living the moment, I guess. No, and that's great. I mean, my goal is not like to show you like we are in different moments of life. Like that's it, you and I. And what you need to be doing now is partying super hard. I really mean it, and just like having fun and experimenting a lot. Because then, I mean, when you're in my case, in my situation, which is like I have my family, there are some people that arrive to this moment and they didn't party it hard enough, and then they arrive to the moment where I am, and then they feel like shit. You know, it's like, ah, I didn't party. I partied so hard, like so fucking crazily, that I'm so happy. I'm like, okay, it's time to go and continue to the next stage. So you guys online, I see Murat, I see Grisha. Grisha already told me his goals yesterday to release an EP. Murat, well, I mean, this is gonna take quite a bit, so I'm gonna do this. Those of you who are online cannot express your opinion because you're online, because I want to continue with the lecture and I don't want to eat the whole lecture with this. But maybe you can write me a little bit there if you feel like it. Like, I want to release an album, I want to release an EP, I want to release a single, I just want to survive, I want to party very hard. I don't know. Just write me there, okay? I'll have a look later. But I really want to continue with the lecture because it's already 11 and we have a lot of things to do. So, but please write me your goals for this year there so we can read them. Maybe now, maybe right now, maybe in this second or not. I don't know. I was talking to everybody here online, like Vera. So we'll speak in real life after the lecture. Great. That's Murat. And Vera, Glev, and Liana, just write me your goals. Okay. So let's move on because there is a lot of things to do today. And it's a really, really, I think, impactful and important lecture. And I hope that it's going to be helpful for all of us. So we continue with the TAT software, like this program that we saw. Like we want to understand the relationship with the equipment. No, nothing changed, Karocha, but describe other goals of technical training and think about things through practice. So this is a recap. I'm going to run through what we did the last lecture in December, just really quick, like tuck, 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 and then we start with new material. So we need to know the spectral balance. We need to make decisions about the spectral balance, right? And that's really clear. And obviously, the more we know the spectral balance, the better. So, like everything is an interconnection in between elements. So sometimes to fix a problem here, you need to go here to fix it. So you need to really understand the relationship between everything if you are going to fix any problems. So we're following this book that I have mentioned to you. And the guy who created this book, he's famous because he created this software that you saw. And he's famous because he also is like a super geek of audio and sound engineering. So he writes a lot. And so we discussed that software in December. And of course, the idea is that we're going to have to practice a lot. So it's really cool if we do this in short practice sessions, sometimes like daily or weekly. It's better to do 15 minutes like a lot than do like a couple of 2 hours because it just doesn't make sense. So this whole thing should be focused on sessions of 30 to 45 minutes. And I guess that one of the things we're going to discuss today, how am I going to evaluate you this? I think I'm going to ask you to record a video of yourself doing like 20 minutes of this. And then you have to send me your score, kind of, like, and I will evaluate both of these. I know it's a bit boring, but I don't know any other way to make sure that you do this. And it's annoying, but my goal is to annoy you. My job is to annoy you. So this guys made the software, and inside of it, you can change the equalization settings, and you can choose some parameters, or the system can choose some parameters for you. We discussed this. So that was the software. We saw it. It was like, it's all in lecture 13 and 14 if you want to catch it again. So you have different tasks here. And right now we are in parametric equalization. And so there is this pink noise generator, right? Is this working right now? I just don't know if it's working. I have a pink noise generator. And then you can make some decisions here based on what you want to do. So that's the interface. We discussed what pink noise is, and we discussed that pink noise is really cool to use because it kind of like considers the Fletcher and Monson curves and tries to show you all the frequencies at equal value level, so you can kind of perceive them at the same intensity. We discussed the frequencies of the ISO and the octaves. This was all in December. And we discussed that the software can be run in 1 octave and 1/3 of an octave. So when you work in 1 octave, you have 9 possible frequencies. When you work in 1/3 of an octave, you have 25 possible frequencies. And so today, so you know what we're doing and where we're going. Today, we're going to learn a method to identify the frequencies a lot better. It's going to be really, really useful. And if you can really practice based on this method that I'm going to show you today, that's going to be super cool for you. Right now, I'm just like recapping what we saw in the last lecture, because that lecture was like 10 years ago or something, or it feels like that. So the software randomly chooses between these frequencies and then boosts something in that white and pink noise that we were watching, like whatever. And then you have to kind of understand what's going on. And of course, when the more higher or lower you are in the range, the harder the whole thing is. We want to learn the frequency, the octaves, so we can kind of like understand, like, okay, that thing sounds around 3K, and then you can sort of like understand at least that you're not in 100. So you want to have some solid anchors that help you to identify which frequency is the problem. So yeah, I mean, that's, I think that this summary that I said, it correctly summarizes this. So, and then the software gives you the chance to work with several bands at the same time, which is mental. I mean, that you can put like a white noise and then have 3 separate bands, like high, mid, low, and then the system is kind of showing you a change in one of those ranges, and then you have to make a decision or try to guess what the hell was happening. So what else can I say about this summary that I'm making before I carry on? That it's important. Yeah, of course, it's more harder when you use many bands, and that's obvious. And so there is a gain. I mean, this is an explanation of all the things of the software. So if you've missed that lecture in December, that's why I'm making a little recap there. That's why it said it's yellow recap. So you can go and check. And I mean, there is a gain combination option in the system, which can either be boost or cut. For each question, the software can boost or cut. So you can be in a +12 or +3 or -12, -3. The system can also choose the Q factor. For those of you who were not in December at all and have no idea what the hell is going on, you know, this is the software, so you can choose a practice type. This is what I was talking to you about. Like, you can do the frequency resolution in 1 octave or 1/3 of an octave or whatever. You can choose how many bands. Let's see it here. You can choose how many bands, like 2 bands, and then you have like 2 of them, 3 bands, and you have 3 of them, 1 band. Then you can say, okay, I want the thing to be in 1 octave. So that means that the options that are going to appear for you are going to be just these options alone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 options. But if you choose like 1/3 of an octave, then there are 25 options, like so that can appear. So if I'm 1/3 of an octave and I listen to pink noise and I get a question, so let's see, that was a boost of something, you know. So let's try to match it. It sounded like 25K, sorry, 125. So let me see. Yeah, that was correct. Okay, great. So 12 decibels. 125 hertz, and then I can go to next question. So what was the question? So let's try to answer it. There it is. It was 500 hertz, boost of 12 decibels. Check the answer. That was correct. But of course, we are in super easy mode there, because you see, I'm telling this game combination thing. I'm just saying only boost, and then it's really easy because I know he's boosting. But then I can go and say, okay, boost or cut. And then it's like, what the hell is that? Okay, let's listen to the question. That's a cut. That's not a boost. Something was removed from the spectrum. So okay, I see. It's more higher. There you go. Got it right. What happened there? Oh, sorry, I hit next question. Let me see this. So what's the question? I think it's a boost in 63 hertz. So that was correct. What's the next question? So a boost in 500, I guess. No, it's 250. Got it right. So I have a score of 100, so I did 4 questions. So I guess I'm gonna ask you to do like some either X. I will think about what's the best way to do it. Either I'll ask you to do a X amount of questions and then send me the screenshot. It's just like that's a bit so easy to cheat. So maybe I'll ask you to make the video. We will see. And then you can change the Q factor if you want the Q factor to be more narrow or more wide. You can choose the frequency range. So from which frequencies you want to focus. Hey, I want to focus in between 4 and 8 kilohertz, or I want to hear the whole spectrum, and then you can do that. So that's kind of what we're discussing right now. Just a little recap of how this program works. So number of bands, we already seen it. These are all gain combination. We already seen it. These are all the function, the Q factor. We explained the Q factor for those of you who forget what the Q factor was. And right now I just showed you what the frequency range is, and then it's showing you kind of like what's the signal path inside the system. So what happens when you bypass? I mean, you can either hear nothing, your question, or your response. And then there are different modalities of the game. We can call it a game, if we can call it a game. Right now we're in matching. There is like matching memory, which is like, hey, like you can hear the answer only once, and then you cannot hear it again. So, and then whatever. Like, so that's what I just wanted to emphasize, that you can change the type of game that you're gonna play. And we're almost done with the and there's a time limit too, so if you want to make it more stressful. And these are the practicing types that I was talking about now: matching memory, return to flat, and absolute identification. So absolute identification, I guess that pretend to listen what is chosen. Yeah, it's kind of like you cannot hear your answer. You can only hear the reference, and then you're doing it blindly. So, I mean, it just gets harder and harder and harder. And that's it. And these are the key commands. And now, I don't know if you have seen Futurama, but I love this this chef in Futurama. It's like, I don't know, it's like a space chef or something, and so he's always using this like spice whistle. It's like, so let's spice this up and make it a bit more interesting. Okay, so now we start with new material. That was a recap. If that was too brutal or something, just watch the full lecture that we did on this and just get up to speed. So the following things that I'm going to discuss are, it's a summary that I did for you of a YouTube video that was made by the Audio University that is really awesome, that are a great way to close this first batch of material that we have covered together across the whole semester. So if you click here, it will take you to that playlist. So this is the videos that I'm going to be discussing, and I mean, you will see a lot of stuff coming from it that are really interesting. So what does muddy, boxy, or teeny sound like? In one of the lectures before in this course, I told you, and I really carefully chose these words because I knew what I was going to do later. I told you, hey guys, look, I'm going to teach you kind of like a привычка, a habit, so you forget about it really quickly. Like we discussed about onomatopoeias and how to locate the spectrum in certain words like muddy, teeny, whatever, sharp, warm, cold, airy, boomy, boxy. And this is a big limitation in general. Like, this is a big limitation because, and these words are used, I mean, I don't want to tell you like that we don't use these words, the people who work in audio all the time. Of course we use these words, and there's a reason why we use these words, and I'll explain you now. But of course our goal is to be able to not use them, so we know the spectrum very well. Our job is not just to communicate about sound, but we need to use the tools, well, sorry for that typo, the tools to achieve a desired goal. So compressors in EQ don't have this like mod knob, you know. I guess that I'm sure that some of them have it. Like, so there is this shit which is like, I don't know, dewarmer or whatever. I'm sure that it exists. There is this one knob plugin on Waves. I don't know if you have seen it. It's just like one knob, and it just like adds boominess or whatever. But our job is to translate subjective listening experience into an objective action. We had a great lecture. Well, I say great as if it was really great, but I enjoyed it. I don't know if you enjoyed it, but I enjoyed it. We had a lecture about this, which was about the relationship between what's in my mind and what's in the world. And so we have to achieve this objective results from a subjective experience. And of course, it's important to know those words well, like boomy, airy, because not everybody is at the level of I mean, that you're going to be, and you're not going to be an asshole, which is like asking to a client, like, what is the problem? There is a bit of boomy. Don't use these words. Like, tell me the frequency, and they're going to be like, go fuck yourself. Like, so it's important to be familiar with these words, because not everybody will be allowed. Please check this out, to witness the infinite wisdom that's available at the Moscow Music School course on technical training, of course. So they will not have this privilege, and that's why you have to school them and tell them that they suck. No, you have to adapt to their level. So, okay, I'm not reducing the importance of using the word modi, boxy, teeny, and all of that. That's okay. But we have a spectrum, and the spectrum should be identified, how it should be identified. So we have the sub-bass, we have discussed this a million times, in between 20 to 60 hertz. We have low frequencies, in between 60 to 200, low mid frequencies, 200 to 700, mid frequencies, 700 to 300. That's why when a lot of people tell me there is a problem in the mid-range, I'm like, what do you mean? I mean, the mid-range has kind of like three parts. Are you talking about the low mid, the low mid, the mid, or the high mid? Because that's very different. 200 hertz is very different to 3K or whatever. And then we have higher frequencies between 7,000 hertz and 20,000 hertz. That's a great segmentation, and I really recommend it. So we discussed this, and we already seen this in a previous presentation, and I'm just putting it here for a like a recap, and to kind of like refresh it, and to have a more source of resource. So mod is around too much around 20 hertz to 60 hertz. Boomy is too much of 100 to 300 hertz. Thin is too little, 100 to 300 hertz. Teeny is like a little bit of a telephone sound, around 800 hertz. Boxy is too much for 100 hertz. Clarity and focus means that you're working well around 3000 hertz. Thin is like too much, 3000 hertz. So you see, like, there are two ways to be thin, right? It's like you can be thin by having too little 100 hertz, or by having too much 3K. And because everything in music is relative to the two separate values. Crispy, it's like good work around 2500 and 7000. Warmer, maybe it's good. Like good reduction around 2500 and 7000. Airy, it's kind of around 10K, 16K. Clarity is around 10K and 16K too. So, I mean, this is super subjective, and I was trying to make an exercise. I forget that I don't think I was so successful at making it once, but I wanted to show you that for all of us, these words are different, and we just don't have an idea really on what's going on. We're just trying to guess. So, okay. And because people disagree on what these words mean, they can be a sort of confusion instead of clarity. So that's an important thing. And there are many reasons why a mix can sound muddy. Sometimes it can be because of an excess of low mid energy, like I was telling you above, but sometimes it can be a lack of high mid energy. So the point that I'm trying to make is that this is not as easy as just saying that's boomy and let's just cut the low end, because it's just not like that. You need to be very attentive about what are the relationships between all the frequencies, and for that you need to know the frequencies, and that's why we have this course. So the goal is to be able to distinguish which frequencies are overrepresented and which frequencies are underrepresented. Because, I mean, again, sometimes a lack of body to something can be an excess of high end. And the opposite can be true as well. Sometimes the lack of clarity of something can be an excess of low end. And how do you determine that? Through practice, basically. Like, I was stupid enough, and I'm sure that, I mean, to be honest, that there's a great possibility that you will be as stupid as I was when I was in your situation, which is to kind of ignore a little bit this and not to focus so much. I did my training and I learned, but I took this way much more seriously later in my life. I'm talking about what we're discussing now. And I stayed on the muddy, boomy, thinny for a decade or something, and then I started moving away from that. If you can do this from the get-go, it's going to be great for you, for sure. So if this class is successful, you will be in the future not using onomatopoeias. I hope you remember this word, like sound. I want you, it would be great if you're using 6 sentences like that miss has an excess of 700 hertz, and you're so precise like that. And there's nothing special about me. I'm not like a cat or something, like, like that's why, I mean, I'm sure that all of you can learn this. It's nothing special. It's just a matter of experience. Actually, the most geeky thing I can tell you in the history of geeky things, when we were studying in London in SAE, when I was kind of in your situation there, we created a superhero in our stupid like drinking conversations or stoner conversations, whatever. Like we created a superhero, which was called Dogman. So we were just saying like, you know, like Dogman was this like super sound engineer who could hear like everything so great, and so he was like a hybrid between a dog and a person, and whatever. For some, it was Dogman. Yeah, it was like, oh no, like this mix is like super high excessive on 700 hertz. No, and that was like our superhero game. So I guess that's how stupid me and my friends were there in London, but it was funny. So okay, we want to try to avoid, and I still do this a lot, and it's because I'm not perfect at this, and I wish I would be more pro. We want to avoid this kind of like, what's the problem? Oh, here it is. Like it's this, like the blind frequency sweep. You know, that's the problem. Like we want to be able to just arrive to the point, because especially for those of you who will do live sound, like you will not have the luxury to be in a super huge speakers in a festival and just be like, and then you kill everybody in the first row or something. Like, I mean, you just have to know what's the problem and go and fix it. And you have 20,000 options, and then whatever are you going to do? Well, you don't have 20,000 options really, because there is the ISO, like in the International Standards Organization, 10 frequency octave, 10 octave kind of range. So you really don't have 20,000. I mean, you can do cuts at any hertz you want, but usually that's why there are parametric equalizers, so you can just like choose. Sorry, graphic equalizers, I got it. So this is what we're gonna do, and this is the new part that I'm opening for you, and I hope that is useful. So this guy, Jason Corey, he proposed this idea, which is like matching frequency resonances to specific vowel sounds. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna show you a set of explanations of what I propose you to do, and you will see that it would be really helpful, I hope. So it can help you to kind of like memorize particular range of frequencies instead of trying to think about a frequency as a number. Maybe it would be really cool if we can think about a frequency as a sound or a vowel in particular of the human alphabet. So let's go straight into what I mean by this. So we will use a video today, because this guy just like nails it in how he explains it and the visuals and everything. And that's the playlist I referred to you at the beginning of this segment. And I splitted this whole videos into parts so we can follow it together, and let's work with him and with me in tandem.
The best way to improve your mixes is to improve your ability to listen. The better you are at listening, the better your mixes will be. In this video, I'll show you the most powerful method for training your ears for mixing. Although simply listening to great recordings is a very effective way to train your ears over time, the method I'll show you in this video will help you train them much more quickly. Jason Corey developed this system called technical ear training.
That's from where I got the information about this book. I mean, that's how I heard this like 3 years ago or something. I was like, oh shit, I want to explore this book.
And it was taught to me in one of my university classes. This system is described in detail in his book, Audio Production.
Something is happening there. I guess that they don't have sound. Let me check. We can't hear sound. That's really not... That's not true. No, I believe you. I'm just kidding. Let me see something. Wait. Sorry, guys. Let me see if I checked all the boxes of the setup. I see why. You're gonna hear it right now. On the way. Thanks for letting me know.
The best way to improve your mixes is to improve your ability to listen. The better you are at listening, the better your mixes will be.
I'll start again for
In
the
this
guys.
video, I'll show you the most powerful method for training your ears for mixing. Although simply listening to great recordings is a very effective way to train your ears over time, the method I'll show you in this video will help you train them much more quickly. Jason Corey developed this system called technical ear training, and it was taught to me in one of my university classes. This system is described in detail in his book, Audio Production and Critical Listening, Technical Ear Training. I've put a link to that in the description, and I highly recommend that you check it out. Here's the premise. Each vowel sound in human speech correlates with a specific octave frequency. To demonstrate this, I'll play clips of filtered pink noise. Each filter will be centered on a specific frequency at plus 12 dB. The filters will be centered on the ISO standard third.
So what is this equalizer called? I mean, I'm just making you a little quick quick quiz. It's a graphic equalizer. And what are those? I mean, I just said it like a minute ago. I'm just like kind of like being annoying. What are those frequencies? Why are they there? Because of the standards. Yeah, I mean, they were chosen as a standard way of administering the spectrum. So we're going to use that fact to learn the spectrum. So we have those frequencies there. And what we want to do is to understand, if I know kind of how 500 hertz sounds, then I know, and I know, like, I mean, if I know how 500, 1000, 2500, and 5000 sound, then I can know, like, well, this is not 2K. This is 5K. Like, and that will help me a lot just to at least know where the hell I am. It's kind of like when you learn Russian. It's like, I mean, you start learning some letters there, and then you're like, okay, that's not a V. And then you start like kind of understanding backwards from what it's not to what it is.
Octave frequencies. For comparison's sake, I'll play flat, unfiltered pink noise, and then add the filter to hear the difference. Let's start with 250 hertz.
So notice here, he's writing you what the sound is. So 250 sounds like, ooh, like food. By the way, I had this planned from the beginning of the course. I was like, we will arrive to that point and everybody will make sense of everything. And today is that day, so really happy.
250 hertz can be identified by an ooh sound, as in food.
And you'll hear it now. It's very subjective, I understand, because you can say food, but let's try to stick with this method. Like, I mean, it's kind of like food, like you kind of feel it. Like, I don't know.
500 hertz can be identified by an O sound, as in no.
So you have, I mean, this is not like trying to tell you how the reality is, it's just trying to help you to remember something. So if you say food, that's kind of like 250. If you say no, that's kind of 500. Like, check it out again. Let's see the no. That's the food.
500 hertz can be identified by an O sound, as in no. One kilohertz can be identified by an ah sound, as in aha.
You're focusing on the aha, aha.
2 kilohertz can be identified by an eh sound, as in let. Four kilohertz can be identified by an e sound, as in b. As we move toward the higher frequencies, the vowel sounds begin to be replaced with sound, as a sibilant sound.
Let me just
as
get
well.
out of here. Wait, because
However,
I
it
split
takes
this
on
in
a
parts.
sharper, more.
So okay, we have those frequencies, and that's what we're trying to learn. These I put you this tablica because it's a more an enhanced version of it. We are working on this version, but there are these two versions too. I just put it there as an extra information, so it can be useful. And then what happens when you are focusing on these parts of the octave, 200, 500, 1000, 2000, 4000, we can use vowels for that. Ooh, and I wrote you there, ooh, or ooh as food, oh, or oh. In Russian, there are some useful ones, like oh, господи, you know, like oh, this like oh, and that's why I put our version there. Ah, like aha, e as let, you know, and e as beat or beat, you know, beat, like beat, something like that. And here is another. I mean, he explains
Identifying frequency bands by
Let's
ear.
give him another chance.
Now that we see the frequencies on this chart, let's listen to how each band sounds.
Let's do another trial.
I'll turn on a parametric EQ set to boost by 12 decibels with a Q of 2.
That's it. Ooh,
As soon as I engage the EQ, you hear the difference instantly. Let's listen closely to the difference again, trying to hear the vowel sound this time. I'll turn it off and back on. Do you hear the ooh sound? Let's try a different frequency, 1 kilohertz. Before and after.
At this point, I mean, you guys already got this. I know it's here for you to see it if you want to see it again or see it more. I mean, this was really clear on the on the low end part, on the kind of mid-range, high mid-range side of the world. So now what about the low end? So let's see what he proposed to us about the low end. So I mean, the point is that in order for you to maybe try to identify the low end, you're gonna try, maybe we recommend you, or he's recommending us, to use haptics. So you know when your phone has this haptic feedback, like it's like when you touch it, it's like it vibrates. So the haptic is a definition in the audio world of like how sounds affect your body physically. You know, so maybe we can sort of identify the low end by trying to remember how certain frequencies feel in a club, like when you're in a big speaker system, and then which part of your body they move. And so when you're monitoring in the studio, maybe you will feel like, like that's kind of like 250 or something, like, or whatever, 125, let's see, sorry.
The lowest vowel sound we can hear is ooh.
So that's our ooh, like we already discussed it, and it's at 250 hertz. So what happens under ooh?
Which corresponds to the 250 hertz band. Let's go a bit lower to the 125 hertz band. Where do you feel the vibration of the sound in your body?
Well, I mean, don't watch here. Where do you feel this vibration? Is it true that you feel it in the same place as him?
The lowest vowel sound we can hear is ooh, which corresponds to the 250 hertz band. Let's go a bit lower to the 125 hertz band. Where do you feel the vibration of the sound in your body? Again.
So where do you feel it? Do you have an idea? Or nothing? Like it's just too abstract for this morning or something like that? On the feet?
And you'll only feel the sound.
Huh? Kind of upper part of the body. Exactly. Not in the belly. Like kind of upper part of the body. Like I heard some feet there, but I mean that. No, I mean maybe it's just how it is.
If you're listening on full range speakers.
Of course, for those of you who are online, you will not feel this like we're feeling it here. Well,
how about the 63 hertz band?
So the 63 hertz band, it stops feeling here.
For me, 125 hertz is a resonating feeling in my chest. While 63 hertz is a resonating feeling in my belly. I've always felt that the 125 hertz range is a more forceful, full-bodied sound.
And I think that that's the key. Like the 125 hertz, it's definable. The 63 hertz is kind of like, I call it personally, trying to be objective, I call it like a soup. It's kind of like a soup of things. It's not like something really clear. It's more like a low rumble.
The 63 hertz range and below sound more like a low rumble from an air handler or a subwoofer thumping in the apartment next door. We need to acknowledge that some speakers just aren't capable of producing low frequencies. So if you're listening to this video on phone speakers, you probably won't hear the examples very well. Also, if you're using headphones, you might hear the examples, but not feel them as you might if you were using a full range speaker.
By the way, that's a platinum YouTube, I mean, that's like 1 million views or something, like 1 million subscribers.
System right in front of you. Keep these things in mind if you're struggling to hear the examples.
So, that's a 125 hertz, but this is more complex, I don't know. Let's see, 63. It's more
if this is your first time hearing about this ear training method,
63 is more like a little rumble of the earth, like an earthquake or something. Like how you, when you see the movies and you know like that the comet is coming or whatever. Speaking of the comet for the second time today, and the 125 hertz is something more defined. I don't know, like when you hear a door closing, like you know, it's more concrete and more like a thump in your chest. So now, what about the high end? So the high end will use sibilant sounds.
8 kilohertz can be identified by an S sound, as in Sam.
So 8 kilohertz like sand.
16 kilohertz can be identified
and this
by
one
a
for
sibilant
us,
sound as
for
well.
Russians is easy, like center.
However, it takes on a sharper, more abrasive quality of ts, as in tsunami.
Oh, I guess I accidentally stopped.
8 kilohertz can be identified of ts, as in tsunami.
Oh yeah, I stopped the video there. So, I mean, so what do we have in summary? I didn't do a summary, and that would have been really nice. Let me just do it quickly here. So what's the summary? So we have, right, we have U, O, A, E, I. What's the summary? So we have, right, like U, O, A, E, I, S, C. Right? Now it sounds like some Chinese stuff that I just read there. and then we have rumble in my body. Let's just start here with the apartment next door, right? Like something like this. Apartment next door, rumble in my chest. So if we the first goal will be, all right, how do we identify these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 milestones in your frequency range? This is a good option. And then, of course, the question is going to come towards how do you recognize the things that are in between? I mean, we already have a technique or an idea on how to identify things that are at those steps. So how to identify things that are in between? And I guess that's something that we're going to do in the next class or something. So, I mean, you will see.
After a bit of practice with these octave frequencies, we'll be able to move a little deeper and listen for the third octave frequencies between them. To do this, we'll utilize the same reference points we've created for the octave frequencies. We have already established an association for the sound U with 250 Hz and O with 500 Hz. 315 Hz is identified by 2 parts U, 1 part O.
That's how we're going to get. So that's where we're going to go like next week. I would like you guys now to open this software and to kind of like do something with it. We have 30 minutes and I think it's a nice thing to do. You know, maybe another option we can do it is more like make it like a public thing here, which is like I open the software and one of you comes here and tries to resolve one question and we do it like that. Or you guys open the software in your computer individually and just play with it. How do you want to do it? How do you think is more logical? Public? Or, I mean, Murat's face is like, why don't we just go to drink a coffee or something? All of us. Public, more logical. Let's go. Public, more logical, and also more fun for the guys online. So, okay. Okay, so you disagree? You want to do it? And if you disagree, you can just log in and... You can also do it like that. But also Веселее, это наша top, it's our main priority, of course. Yeah, of course. No, and also there is one thing in favor of doing it publicly, which is the guys online. I mean, they can hear what we're doing. So I don't know. I think like so all right. Let's just do it, Paocheret. You're here first, so you're gonna be first. No? You wanted to start with Sebastian, like backwards to here? No? Давай, Саш. Давай, сади ты.
Shame on me.
So, okay, look. We're gonna start with pink noise, okay?
Okay.
So, right now, if to hear, you need to click down here in this button. Click, and now you're hearing. So you're hearing something. Yeah, you can choose to change the volume if you want. So now, let's see your question. So there's a question there already out for you. So, okay, now you need to try. Can you switch it off 1 second? So you see, sorry, let me just accept somebody here.
The sound.
Yeah. So you see, you are in right now you're in matching memory mode. So matching memory means that you will be able to hear. No, I got it in a heart for you. You're in matching, so you can just jump in between like both. So right now, bypass, you're not hearing anything. Now click on question. So something is happening there. Now go to your response and try to guess what is happening.
It's some high frequency.
Yeah, go up until you hear it. So that was, you remember this centip, like centip. It was 16K.
Yeah.
You see, centip, like there you go. Now you can click on check answer. Boom, you were correct. Hurrah! All right. Let's now remember this. We are in uber easy mode because I mean you can then just go and do it like with 3 bands. And then you can also say like, okay, I don't know if you're gonna cut, or you can just choose all combinations. Like, is it -3? Is it +3? It's super criminal, this thing. It's like, is it 12 -12 +6 -6? You don't know. I mean, right now we're in uber easy mode, so let's just leave it like that. And then 1 band. So, okay, Sebastian, you cannot escape this, Bertan. No, okay, if you don't want to do it, just don't do it. But okay, no worries. Murat, you want to do it? Come on, it's your turn. So there you go. Like, wait, you're in bypass, we start in bypass, and go ahead. So you see, that's the food one. Actually, it was not the food one, I was wrong. It was... It's okay, do another one. Just go to question. Aha. So that's a rumble. Yeah, that's like 20 hertz. You just need to... 63, I was wrong again. Check answer. Bravo! So, it's your turn now. Давай. It's not so hard. For those of you online, I guess that this is a mega torture, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know how it feels to watch this online, but... Okay, so just open it here. Click. And then... So, right now, yeah, and it's the same. It repeated. So, check answer. Next question. No, next question. Now you have your question. You can hear the question. So this one was the tsunami. No, it was not the tsunami. It's more like, what was the, like S, just S. Da. Okay, that was correct. Great. Yeah. Давай, bien. Now it's your turn. Now. So you just click here to open this thing, like click. And so go to your question. Click on next question, please. We're repeating the same question. Yeah. So go to question. So that's a tsunami, very clear. Like it's like 16 kilohertz. And if you go to your response, then you will hear like, oh look, it's the same. And then check answer, you were correct. Bravo! Flawless victory. Okay, great. So of course. Now let's see if we do matching memory, is gonna be cool, because matching memory is a little bit more like, okay, what's the question? Now I cannot hear the question anymore. Never in the history of the universe. So I need to remember what the hell happened there. It was 63 exactly, and then I can where is, like, there is no check. Right? Like, next question? What should I do there? Next question? I kind of lose it. Because I haven't clicked on next question. I was doing the same thing. So now we have a new question. So, 250. Check answer. That was correct. Now, okay. Now let's see it. With, this is gonna be cool. So now let's see it with +12 or -12. So now we don't know if he's doing +12 or -12. So we don't know if it's a plus or minus. I imagine that if your parents, guys that are there online, if somebody walks nearby you in the kitchen, it's like, what the hell are you guys doing there? Or your babushka would be like, the television is not well connected. What did you want to say? Oh, I don't know what's merciful. It's like a meme or something. Mers? Merzbow? Bow. Yeah, sorry for my dedushka moment, but so it's this guy. I get it. Yeah, I mean I don't know him, but I can imagine that this is gonna be like this type of music, like got it, or some like noise and stuff. Okay, great. So now we have a +12, -12. Let's stay on not matching memory, but let's stay more like on like matching normal, and let's see what's up. And now we need to identify cut or boost. Thank you. So that's a boost, obviously. Again, it's like the ts, and that's 16 kilohertz. So this is a killer summary here. So 16 kilohertz is tsunami. 8 kilohertz is SSM. Targo it's center. Da. So correct, great. Let's go to the next one. I want to see a question that it's cut. This is also a boost. So that would be a boost of 8 kilohertz right away. Check answer. Great. Next one. So, there is a cut there. So that's a cut. 250, correct. There it is. Master. What? Food. Okay, great. So next question. Let's see another one. So that's boost of 8 kilohertz. Great. Check answer. So that's a boost. I want to see one last one, and then we'll move on to another thing. Sorry. It's a cut. It's a cut of 125, I think. There you go. Great. Okay, now, of course, the thing gets... That's what we're gonna kind of try to see next week. Like, I mean, theoretically, you guys should practice with this modality. Like, I mean, just a little bit. Just sometimes, just open it, like, in the metro or something. I guess that you can do it on the phone, too. But it will be hard to hear in the metro, like... But whatever. You need some good... So now, I'm in 1/3 of an octave. Wait, so now, you see, like... I don't know if he's already working. That sounds like 8 kilohertz. Okay, that's correct. I want to see if we get a... One 1,250. So we are now in a bit of a next... We are either cutting or boosting. That's a cut. And it's a cut. That's it. 1,250. Next question. That's a bit of like, you see, that's where it becomes useful. It's like, it's if it's not food, it's close to food. It's kind of like this, like... It's higher. Oh. You see now? Yeah, I think that's it. You know that there are these videos to go to sleep with pink noise and stuff. You haven't seen them? Yeah, I'll show you. Yeah, that was right. 200 hertz. There are these videos. I mean, I tried them when I tried them when I started. Like, I mean, when I started to face the realization that, you know, when people say like he's sleeping like a baby, this is the most fake thing in the world. Like, I mean, babies don't sleep well. It's like, who the fuck thought about this? Like, but whatever. So there is this like white noise for babies, you see, like right away. It's like white noise, and I tried it, and it's really criminal. I mean, Anya was like, "I'm going crazy! Stop that shit! Like, are you fucking crazy? Like, it's 10 hours." I played like this one. I really played it sometimes in the night, like this thing, like. It's kind of like white noise, if you think about it. It's very similar. But Anya was going crazy too, like she could identify like where the loop happens. And look, there's like airplane white noise. First class seat, by the way. It's not like passenger class. You know, they get better sound. 10 hours. Ah, yeah. Why? Why? Man, I don't know if it's just me. Does anybody get because of joy of feeling and entering an airport? Okay, that's another conversation. Yeah, they're just bots. Yeah. So, anyways, I mean, what we're gonna see like next week, I will prepare. I guess that we're finishing a little bit early. We can. I mean, I guess I'll stay playing for 10 more minutes. Like, why not? Next week, I'm going to pace apart like what's the strategy for the other frequencies, and we will make a ultimate guide on how to do that. And then we will continue further with the Jack Perricone book, because this is gonna go to compression, reverberation, like how to hear if there's reverberation. And so this thing here, like you see, like it has like a function. If you go back here, like sorry, I clicked the wrong one. That's the book. If you go here, it's like, okay, there is also reverberation, you see? And that's actually the module that comes next. It's like, what's the decay time? And this is amazing, man. I have never done this myself. I mean, it's just like this course of the development of the technical ear. It's a joy that the school decided to do this, because it's, like I told you when we started, it's the most boring thing in the world, but it's the most useful thing kind of that will happen, one of the most useful things that will happen in the whole school. Like, to be able to identify these things is going to be really powerful. So next chapters in the book that I'm analyzing for you, it's like about how to identify reverb times and all of that. We will be one more week in frequencies, I guess, just to try to see what happens in between those frequencies that we discussed today. And then this whole thing will go, you see, like there is dynamic compression, dynamic expansion, distortion, audio clip. Now I'm curious about this. So pink noise, that's really great. So you see you have a meter, and you can see the distorted signal. So it's like, I mean, what level of distortion there is there? Is it like what type of distortion there is? So I mean, wow, that's amazing. This is amazing. It's amazing that it's for free. It's crazy. But anyways, you see where we're going. I mean, that's the whole course, and we're gonna, in the process of this, we will explore like what is distortion, what is compression, like what is reverberation. Like we will go on the sites and see things. So I don't know. I guess that. Well, let me see if there are any questions here. Gleb, what's up? It's there. What does it mean? It's there. I don't know. He was saying that, yeah, that there is a compression test. Yeah, and we will explore it here. We will definitely explore it together. Well, I guess that the best way, now that we are here and mid-side, wait, let me go back to parametric equalization. That's where we are. And I'm just gonna grab any MP3 from here, and let's just do a couple of exercises. By the way, did you hear the Yeah Yeah Yes album? That I mean, when you can do it, like the album that I put there yesterday, it's incredible. It's really good. Like by the way, my Christmas present to myself was a vinyl player. So yeah, everybody please needs to do this. Like it costed me 10K. It costed me 10K. It's not so much money. Like just yeah, I bought it like an Avito used, like 10,000 rubles, and man, it's like I bought from. Do you know Telephone Tel Aviv? Anybody here know Telephone Tel Aviv? No? Okay, you'll know it today. I'll post. I posted there on our place. Anyways, yesterday I bought a perfect circle. I mean, now I will like. It's like I was joking, like goodbye Bitcoin, hello buying vinyls, because they are so expensive, but it's so worth it. It's just amazing experience. So I want the plastinka of this. That's what I'm telling you. I really want it. It's an amazing record. Please hear it. So I'm I was recording something over the weekend, and I'm gonna use that as a reference. Osera. I'm just gonna download this October. I don't remember. Stay Alive, whatever. download. This is some band I was recording. Really great drummer. Like, it was so good. Good rock drummer. It was so cool. Yeah. So let's just play a bit with the equalization for a couple of minutes. By the way, now that I'm going to talk about something outside of our conversation of technical ear training, like, look, this is a case of when you record drums. I'm talking now more about like sound engineering in our course on Fridays of studio, but I want to show you like what's something that is really classic. Like, I arrived to the studio 2 hours before the band, and I prepared 2 snares for them. So I tuned 2 snares, right? And so we recorded everything with 2 snares, actually. So you see, like, you will see the differences. Like, I did a super dry. Wait, let's go here. No, these are just like little pieces. There was this like kind of like dry. Vintagey, and then we had this one. I think this one. No, it's gonna be the next take. You see? Because, I mean, we wanted to... We just didn't know, really. I was like, I'm not the producer, they just landed in my world, and it's like, which snare is best? And I'm like, man, like, let's just record them both, you know? And then we will use, like, couplet one snare and prepievs another one, you know? It's the best way to go. So I'm gonna download this file, and let's hear it through the system. This file is a good one. We're gonna hear drums isolated. And there's one more thing I want to show you. Check out how nice this drum sounds. I think they sound quite nice. I mean, I think it's great. And now check this out. I'm gonna open Don't you feel that the previous recording sounds better? 100% the same setup, no change. It's exact. Actually, I'm opening here up to you and telling you the secret that I kind of tricked my clients there, because I mean I'm in a point of my life when it's like, if I can squeeze some extra revenue, I will. I know I give a lot to them, so I kind of had a recording on Saturday and Sunday. And I told the client, like, on Sunday, I was like, I'll be there at 9 to set up everything 2 hours earlier. And I just left the setup from the previous day because I just wanted to spend more time with my family and make money while I was doing that. So I used the same setup on Saturday and Sunday. And it was really risky, man, because, yeah, I'm sorry to do this. And it's not Chestnut, but it's just how it was. And it was really risky. Like, you know, I arrived there like at 11 and they arrived at 11 too, so I didn't put them on the list on the Savot, so they were downstairs like, we're here, and I was like, just a moment. And I arrived on the other side of the Savot, like, and just, I mean, this is not Chestnut, I'm sorry, I'm not giving you a good example, but whatever. I mean, I made 6K like that, and I was with my kids, so I mean, and everything turned out to be great. So and you know what happened? Karma is a bitch. Karma is a bitch, man. You know what happened? The system gave some latency that it usually doesn't gives. And so we lost 2 hours on the recording. And I didn't charge them the money for those 2 hours. So they got their time back. You see what I mean? Like, even though I wanted to cheat, like, we lost 2 hours on the recording. Then I had to cancel this and I stayed until I was supposed to stay in the studio until 4. But then I ended up staying until 8. I had to stay 4 hours more because we lost 2 hours, and then there was like some other shit, whatever. So in the end, I paid for it. But I really wanted to show you this because it's exactly the same setup. There was no changes at all. This is drummer A. There were changes in the cymbals. The cymbals were different, but this guy has better cymbals than the other one. This is drummer A. Let's hear it again. And then let's go to, it was O0 and drummer B. And also there is another difference between these two guys. That drummer A is an asshole. And drummer B, it's a fucking beautiful person. I mean, he was such a good guy. Like this guy, the good one. Wait, let me put it here. Like, everything sounds more clear, more better. Like every snare hit pierces through. Like the other thing is foggy. It's like not clear. It would be great if they would be playing the same, but obviously it's different music. Let's go here back to exports. Let's see Planetic, for example. You see, like, it's like cymbal, cymbal, cymbals, snare, slimmer, cymbal, cymbals, like, and then this thing is super hard to mix. Everything is worse. Like, it's really uncomfortable. The toms are also not great. Also, I mean, to be honest, the snare was different because he had his own snare and the cymbals were different. But anyways, even the kick, you can hear that the kick is way much more beefy in the other one. Like, the guy hits it well and he was in a good mood. He was happy. He was great. And this other dude was really like negative and just like very not trusting me. I wonder why they don't trust me. But anyways, I wanted to share that with you. So I'm gonna load one drum sample here. This is for the good drummer that we like. He was a Georgian guy, by the way, and he was so fucking like, I mean, you see, look, like the difference. Look at the difference between clients usually. Like, you see, this is the asshole guy. Not asshole. He's not an asshole guy, but it's not such a comfortable guy to work with. And look at this, for example. I wrote a message. I gave them exports of drums which were raw. I mean, usually when I work in the studio, I use plugins that have like one sample of latency to do some equalization on the tracking. I have mentioned this to you a lot. And I know that some engineers here in Russia, they really don't like this because they have this fantasy that things should be undercooked and then they will change it. You know, you understand what I mean? Like that you shouldn't give them tracks that are already sort of like processed by you. They just want the clean tracking, which is absolutely idiotic. It's not how it should be. But I know this, and I know that when you give, sound engineers are really nasty people, and like when you give your drum tracks that you recorded to another engineer, he will find a million reasons to bitch about your work. And fair enough, I mean, fair enough, whatever, we care a lot. And also, they don't think that maybe it's the drummer, what's the problem, like I just showed you, or whatever. But you see, like I gave them the raw tracks, and I sent a message there, and the message was phase reversed in plugin. So it means like, hey, I could do phase reversals on the preamps on every channel, but I made a first reversal in a plugin here. So I was telling the other engineer, like, when you load these tracks in your computer, phase reverse the snare bottom. And so they sent me this message, which is like, but it's already correct in phase. And I'm like, so? You get the point? It's like they complained to tell me that everything was right. It was like, Leo, sorry to bother, but Dima said like it has phase reverse. It's like, well, if the phase is correct, great. I mean, what's the problem with that? What we want is the phase to be coherent. If in the rush of the session, I decided to rename the track like that just in case, but it can be that the mic went down a bit. For example, maybe when we started recording, the thing was out of phase and I reversed it out of phase. I put the snare bottom out of phase, and then like an hour later, the mic bottom went down a little bit. And that's a matter of mic choices. I choose a snare SM7 on the bottom, and it's a very heavy mic. So maybe it just sunk in a little bit, and then it became in phase as the session was progressing. You see what I mean? And the phase was corrected naturally. I mean, it's an option. I don't know if that's the case, but in any case, if the two elements are corrected, great. That's what we want. So if that's the case, there's no need to do phase rebate. Okay, I will forward this to the message, to the other engineer. And now look at the other guys that we were, the guys that I'm telling you that were visually. Leo, я заберу все, да, окей, наверное, нужно. Это будет отличный EP. Кайф! Спасибо огромное! Лео, спасибо большое за сегодня день. Было очень приятно поиграть. Like, you know, there is all these different combinations and of clients and people, and it just works like that. You never know how it's going to be, and so, all right, I'm going. He only works with WAPs. Okay, fine. No, it works with. I just wanted to hear something like here, just as the last thing here. Is it working? Oh, it's like muted. So now we're here, and you see, obviously, you can just do your same thing that we're doing, matching 12 decibels, 1 octave. So, what's the question? Okay. And that one was like a, I think so. You know, when I was a kid, this is going to be useful. When I was a kid, I was always thinking, like, when I was playing with my friends, and I was like, the crowd is wild. You know what I mean? Like, when I was representing, like, the crowd of a football stadium or something, when I was a kid, I was using that, like, oh my God. And I do it with series a lot nowadays, like, bravo. So that's your that we're looking there. So, yeah, great. Okay, etc. You get the point. So, thanks a lot. That was our lecture today. See you next week. And I'll think about. I will put the assignment this week so you guys can go. You missed this gift card, by the way. This is the best gift card in the world. Yeah, and it's also like with a transparent background, so it just works so amazing.
And you got really cool gift card with like a graphic ear, which is
It was the previous one. It was the previous one. It's this one. It was not a gift card though. It was this one. Yeah.
that's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, I really have worked in the fact that they are absolutely all of them different. Like, I really did it on purpose. Like, I took care of this very much. I mean, it's my hobby to find all these gift cards. Sometimes it takes me longer than making the freaking presentation. But it works. Yeah, I mean, you see, like, I promise you, they're all really different. Like, they're super. Sometimes they are repeated, and then I go and I change them. Like, yeah. So that's fun. And then I tell to my wife and to Sirius, guys, I'm busy. Like, stop bothering me. Come on, like. And then the last one, I'm trying to find gift card. Yeah, this one, and this was the isomorphic mapping. And let's see, this one, yeah, learn to listen. And then the introduction one, no repeat. Great, awesome. If I repeat one, you can sue me or something. You can take me to court for defamation. Anyways, let's go to have lunch and have a next lecture. Thank you guys. That was cool. Thank you.
Yeah, and,
Da.